The memory of countless lonely nights flickered in Sarah's mind, the quiet ache of wondering if this was all life had left to offer, the weight of her choices, the emptiness of her marriage. And yet here she was trembling with something real. "I don't know what this means," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I feel something, Jake. I always have. I just didn't know how to face it." Jake's eyes softened instantly, a quiet hope lighting them up. "I don't want to push you," he said gently. "But I've wanted this for a long time. Not just the kiss. You." The way he said it cracked something open inside her. Fear rushed in, but so did a reckless kind of relief. No more pretending. No more silence. She stood at the edge of a choice that could unravel everything. But for once she didn't want to stay safe. Her breath caught as she reached out, her fingertips brushing his cheek. His skin was warm, his eyes locked on hers, startled but calm. Ready. And then she kissed him. It started softly, a quiet question neither of them dared speak aloud. His lips met hers gently, reverently, like he'd been imagining this moment for years and didn't want to rush it. Her hand slipped to the back of his neck, drawing him in. Jake's hands found her waist, pulling her close, grounding her. The kiss deepened. It wasn't desperate, it was deliberate. A slow unfolding of years of tension, of words never said. It was more than just lips meeting. It was memory, longing, comfort, desire. Everything she tried to bury, now spilling out all at once. Sarah felt it in her chest, in the way her heart thudded wildly, in the way her guilt tangled with something that felt dangerously close to freedom. Jake, still holding her, pulled back just enough to look at her. His breath shallow, his cheeks flushed, his voice shaken. I didn't think it would feel like this." Sarah nodded slowly, her voice quiet, full of stunned truth. "Neither did I." They sat there in silence, the world outside forgotten. Nothing had been fixed. No decisions had been made. But something had shifted. Forever. 10:25. Sarah lay still beneath the soft linen sheets, the morning light spilling through the hotel windows in quiet streaks. 10:29. Jake's arm was draped across her waist, his breath steady, peaceful. 10:32. For a moment she let herself stay there, wrapped in warmth, in the memory of what they'd shared. 10:36. But the weight in her chest wouldn't lift. 10:38. Guilt curled tightly around her ribs, suffocating. 10:41. She had crossed a line she could never uncross. 10:44. Carefully she slid out of bed, pulling the sheet around her as she padded silently toward the window. 10:48. Chicago buzzed quietly below, unaware of the storm unraveling inside her. 10:52. She leaned her forehead against the glass, her reflection staring back with tired, conflicted eyes. 10:56. Jake stirred behind her. 10:57. Sarah? His voice was husky, soft. 10:59. She didn't turn around right away. 11:01. I don't know how to go back to my life after this, she whispered. 11:04. Jake sat up, the sheets pooling at his waist. 11:07. Maybe you don't have to, he said. Maybe this is your life now. The start of something new. 11:11. She shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. 11:13. It's not that simple. There's Mark. My son. Everything I've built. Even if it's cracked, it's still my life. 11:18. Jake stood and came to her, gently placing his hands on her arms. 11:21. I'm not asking you to make a decision today. I just needed you to know what's always been here. What I feel for you. 11:27. She turned to face him, her throat tight. 11:29. And what if I feel it too? What if I already chose something the moment I kissed you? 11:34. The silence between them was heavy, fragile. 11:37. Then we take it one step at a time, Jake said. No pressure. No demands. Just honesty. 11:42. Sarah nodded, her heart aching with the weight of dual truths. 11:45. That what they shared was real. 11:47. And that her world would never be the same again. 10:23. But so was her marriage. 10:25. She thought of Mark. 10:27. Of the vows she'd broken. 10:28. Of the life she'd built. 10:30. Guilt gnawed at her. 10:31 But so did a growing clarity. 10:33 She was in love with Jake. 10:34 Jacka too was wrestling with his own emotions. 10:38 He'd always loved Sarah. 10:40 But he'd never dared hope she'd feel the same. 10:42 Now with their bond tested and proven, he felt a mix of hope and fear. 10:47 What would this mean for them? 10:49 Could they go back to being just friends? 10:51 Did he even want to? 10:52 That afternoon, they sat in the small garden behind Sarah's apartment. 10:57 The air cool and golden. Jake turned to her, his heart pounding. 11:01 Sarah, I've been in love with you for years. 11:04 he said, his voice shaky but resolute. 11:07 Last night it meant everything to me. 11:09 I don't know what happens next. 11:11 But I needed you to know that. 11:13 Sarah's breath caught. 11:14 his words hitting her with a force she hadn't expected. 11:18 Jake, I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that. 11:23 I've been so confused. 11:24 But the truth is I feel something for you too. 11:27 Something more than friendship. 11:28 I'm just scared. 11:30 The silence between them was heavy but not uncomfortable. 11:33 They were both vulnerable. 11:35 Both afraid. 11:36 But both certain of one thing. 11:38 Their feelings were real. 11:40 Sarah thought about her marriage. 11:42 About the emotional neglect she'd endured. 11:44 The way she'd been craving connection. 11:59 I want to see where this goes, she said. 12:01 Jake nodded, his eyes filled with understanding. 11:45 Jake had given her that connection. And more. 11:47 But Sarah wasn't ready to throw everything away. Not yet. 11:51 I need time, she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. 11:53 To figure out what this means for me. For us. 11:55 She looked at him vulnerable, open. But I don't want to lose you. 11:58 Jake, I want to see where this goes. 12:01 Jake nodded slowly, his eyes warm with understanding. 12:04 We don't have to rush, he said gently. I'm here, Sarah. No matter what. 12:08 As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the garden in gold and gray, they sat in silence. 12:11 The weight of their choices hung in the air, but so did something softer, hope. 12:14 They didn't have all the answers. 12:16 But they had each other. 12:18 And for now that was enough. 12:20 This story explores the tangled threads of love, loyalty, and longing. And in doing so, it raises something essential, the importance of consent and boundaries in any relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or something in between. 12:26 Clear communication. Mutual respect. Emotional safety. 12:30 These aren't just ideas, they're the foundation of real connection. 12:35 Sarah and Jake's story reminds us, sometimes we need space to process what we feel. And that's okay. 12:39 Consent isn't only about a yes or a no. It's about both people feeling safe, heard, and valued, every step of the way. 12:48 If you're in a similar place, unsure, torn, or searching, take your time. 12:51 Reflect. Speak your truth. Seek support if you need it. 12:53 Healthy love begins with honesty, with others and with yourself. 12:55 Because relationships built on trust and respect don't just survive. 12:58 They thrive. 13:02 If this story resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Broken Vows. 13:04 Each week we dive into raw emotional stories like this, exploring the complexities of love, betrayal, trust, and healing. 13:11 Drop a comment below. 13:13 What would you have done in Sarah's shoes? 13:16 Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's grow together. 13:21 See you in the next video. My son's birthday wish left me speechless. A true story about betrayal. The late afternoon sun poured through the blinds of Sarah's small Chicago apartment, painting soft golden lines on the wooden floor. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table, breaking the calm. When she saw who it was, her heart gave a quick flutter. Jake, her closest friend since college. He'd always been the one to lift her spirits, even on her worst days. She picked up with a tired smile. "Hey Jake. Everything okay?" Jake's voice came through, upbeat but with a slight tension she couldn't ignore. "Hey Sarah. I've been thinking about my birthday. My son's birthday wish left me speechless." A true story about betrayal. The afternoon light slipped through the blinds in Sarah's small apartment in Chicago, painting soft gold lines across the floor. The quiet was interrupted by the buzz of her phone on the glass coffee table. She looked at the screen and her heart skipped. It was Jake, her best friend since college. The one who always made her laugh, even when things felt impossible. She picked up, her voice warm but tired after a long day at work. "Hey Jake. What's going on?" "Hey Sarah," he said. His voice was light, but something about it made her sit up a little straighter. He sounded nervous. "I've been thinking about my birthday," he said. "And I know you usually plan something fun, but this year, I was hoping for something different. Something more personal." Sarah smiled slightly, but her brows pulled together. His tone wasn't the same, it was unsure, like he was holding back. She joked, "Happy almost birthday. You know I've got something planned. Maybe dinner and some public embarrassment with karaoke." Jake chuckled, but it was short and awkward. "You're always great at planning. But I wanted to ask for something else this time. Not a gift in the usual sense." Her smile faded, replaced by a strange feeling in her gut. "Okay, what is it?" There was a long silence on the other end. She could hear Jake's breathing, uneven, like he was debating whether to say what was on his mind. Finally he spoke. Quickly. "I want a kiss. From you. For my birthday." Everything stopped for a second. "O kiss." From Jake? Her best friend. The one who'd been by her side through every argument with her husband, Mark. The one who helped her through the roughest nights. Her grip tightened on the phone. "You want a kiss?" she asked quietly, barely believing what she'd heard. "Yeah," Jake said, his voice soft. "I know it's weird. I don't want to freak you out. But I've always wondered what it would feel like. And it's my birthday, so I thought, maybe I could ask. Just once." Sarah leaned back on the couch, her mind racing. She felt shocked. And something else. Confused. She thought about Jake. His warm eyes, his smile, how he always seemed to know the right thing to say. She remembered the way his hand would sometimes linger a little too long when they passed things back and forth, or how he looked at her during movies. She'd always brushed it off. Now it all felt different. I don't know, Jake," she said, her voice shaking. "You're my best friend. And I'm married." That word, married, felt heavy. A reminder of the vow she made to Mark. Even though their relationship had been falling apart for a while, Mark had become cold, distant. And lately there'd been a lonely ache in her heart she tried to ignore. But Jake's words stirred something inside her. Maybe curiosity. Maybe more. "I get it," Jake said quickly. "I don't want to ruin anything between us. If it's too much, forget I asked." Sarah closed her eyes, her fingers digging into the edge of the couch. "Let me think," she said. "Okay. I just need time." "Of course," Jake replied. "Take all the time you need. I'll see you tomorrow." "Yeah," she whispered. "We'll talk then." After ending the call, Sarah stared at the phone, heart pounding. This wasn't just a simple request. It was a moment that could change everything. She thought about her marriage, the cold distance between her and Mark. Then she thought about Jake, how he made her feel seen, safe, wanted. And now he wanted a kiss. My son's birthday wish changed everything. The soft glow of the late afternoon sun lit up Sarah's small apartment in Chicago, casting long stripes of light across the floor. The quiet was broken by the buzz of her phone on the coffee table. She looked down and her heart skipped when she saw who it was, Jake. Jake had been her best friend since college, the kind of friend who always knew how to make her smile, even on hard days. She answered with a tired but warm, "Hey, Jake." "Hey," he said, his voice light but carrying something uncertain. She sat up, curious. "What's going on?" "My birthday's coming up," he said. And I was hoping for something different this year. Not a party or anything. Something personal. Sarah smiled a little. You know I've got plans, dinner. Maybe karaoke to embarrass you. Jake gave a short laugh but quickly went quiet. Actually, I wanted something else. Her smile faded. Okay. Like what? There was a long pause. She could hear him breathing like he was struggling to find the right words. I want a kiss, he said at last. From you. Just one. For my birthday. Sarah's chest tightened. Jake? Her best friend? The one who'd been there through every argument with her husband, Mark? She repeated it softly, more to herself than him. Alkish. Yeah, I know it's strange, and I don't want to make this awkward, but I've always wondered. Just once. Sarah leaned back stunned. Her mind ran in circles. She thought about how Jake always seemed to know what she needed, about the moments they'd shared that felt like more than friendship, but she'd never dared to admit it. I don't know, Jake, she said quietly. You're my best friend. And I'm married. Her voice shook. That word, married, felt heavier than ever. Her relationship with Mark had been falling apart for a long time. He barely noticed her anymore. I get it, Jake said gently. I don't want to ruin anything between us. If you need to say no, it's okay. Let me think about it, Sarah said, her hand gripping the couch. Take all the time you need, he said softly. I'll see you tomorrow. As she ended the call, she stared at the phone in her hand. Jake's request wasn't just a question. It was a fork in the road. The room was undeniably romantic, and Sarah could feel her heart racing. She didn't know what unsettled her more. The anticipation of the night ahead or how right it felt being here with Jake. He poured them each a glass of whiskey. His hands were steady, but his eyes flicked to hers, searching. To a birthday I won't forget, he said, clinking his glass gently against hers. The warm burn of the drink helped ease the tightness in her chest. Dinner unfolded like a slow dance, flavors, laughter, and easy conversation. They spoke about everything, work, books, the future. But underneath it all, a question lingered in the air, silent but heavy. Each glance they shared, each time their hands brushed while passing a dish, felt charged. The pull between them was strong, magnetic, and dangerous. And yet Sarah didn't pull away. As the evening wore on, the space between them seemed to shrink. The room felt smaller, more intimate. They moved to the couch, candlelight flickering softly around them. Jake looked at her with eyes full of something deeper, hope, maybe even longing. His voice broke the silence. You okay? She nodded, though her chest felt tight. I don't know, she admitted. This feels different. Big. He leaned forward slightly, his hands resting on his knees. I've been thinking about this all night, he said. About my birthday wish. His words hung in the air. Do you think? Maybe tonight? Sarah's breath caught. Her mind told her to stop, to think of Mark, to remember her vows. But another part of her, the part that had been aching for something real, pushed her forward. She thought about how long Jake had been by her side, how he made her feel understood, even when she couldn't find the words, how her marriage had grown cold, quiet, distant. And suddenly it was no longer just about a kiss. It was about everything that kiss would mean.